Is this thing on? Damn, it's not awkward at all. What's good, y'all? I'm Mo, and this is how I changed my life. I'm manifesting that, by the way. 100% is manifestation. Um, I am Mo, and I definitely am changing my life, and I feel like it's gonna be a wild ass ride. So why not bring the people who fuck with me, the people who support me? Why not bring y'all with me? So, in case y'all don't know me, if you're new here, like and subscribe. Appreciate it. I'm a nurse. Well, I went to school. Well, actually, let's run this back. I went to school I started off pre-med. I'm Nigerian. I wasn't necessarily like the whole doctor, lawyer, engineer wasn't like implicitly like forced onto me, that I will say. But you know, there's underlying themes of like doctor, lawyer, engineer. So maybe I was watching a little bit of too much Grey's Anatomy. I was really enjoying my biology class. I really don't know. But I wanted to go pre-med. I went into school for pre-med. I got to my sophomore year and I was like, this shit is not for me. I don't know what the fuck y'all be smoking, but I didn't get any of that. They didn't give me that when I went there. So I just was like stuck for a little bit. I was like, damn, like what do I do? And you know, I'm in my sophomore year. I skipped a grade. So like I had like this weird pressure that was like, yo, like you're already supposed to be ahead of the curve. Like why is this now something that like I've almost felt like I wasted that year of being skipped a grade, which I have my own thoughts on kids skipping grades. I don't think they should, but that's a different conversation. I'm still grateful for it, but like also a different perspective could have been too, that like for some reason I skipped that grade so I could take that extra time to figure out what is it that I wanted to do. And you know, it is what it is. I'm not a believer that things happen to me. I think everything happens for you. So it's just a matter of time before you're able to like understand why. But ultimately, like I was trying to figure out what to do. I really didn't know. I didn't know anything outside of like the healthcare space. And there was just so many other things that like I would like to do, but it's like it's not a direct path to me making money. And like the whole thing is like go to college, and I'm the only male in my family. So there's certain like a lot of it is like unconscious. Like the older I get, the more I realize how much like pressure I put on myself as a teenager. I mean, like it's kind of wild, and it's like, bro, if y'all like, if anybody who is listening to this, like, bro, like, take it easy. Life was never supposed to be this difficult. Like, we came here and made this shit more difficult than it needed to be. So if nothing else, just have solace in the fact that like at the end of the day, like life is actually like not that difficult. Um, damn. That's kind of wild to say. I was trying to figure out what I was trying to do with my life. As I was like looking at like things that I found genuine interest in. And also I want to preface this by saying like this is the first time like I'm in a space that is, I was halfway across the country. Like I'm not, this is my first time away from what I know to be home. Like I'm from the Bronx. Like I went to school in Washington Heights. Everything I knew was within this city. So it's like when you take that kid and you take him out of there and you expose him to the Midwest, it's definitely like more of a culture shock than I think I was willing to recognize in the moment. But again, so grateful for the experience because I think it taught me a lot about myself. If I had not went there, I would not have known that I didn't want to go to med school. And I feel like if I stayed in New York, I would have wanted to go to med school. I would have done it. I would have stuck it out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But being away in a space that really allows you to cultivate like a sense of identity, it's like really important, especially within like those formative years. But I digress. Eventually, as I was looking to things, I found communications. And there was an interesting major. I don't even remember what it was now, but like they were able to mix communications and healthcare together in I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, yo, like this is actually a pretty dope major. Like I would want to look into it. But then, the self-doubt creeps in. Am I going to be able to provide for myself? Am I going to be able to provide the lifestyle that I want for myself? And that was always my goal. That's how I saw college. It was like this avenue to a lifestyle. To make a short story long, I ended up deciding to go nursing. I think it was like the most adjacent thing. It guaranteed me a lifestyle quicker than pre-med would have guaranteed me. So I was like, oh shit, like this is pretty cool. I still get to do what I want to do in the first place. I get to, live my life faster, this, that, and the third. So I was like, yeah, nursing. And I was excited about it. Like, I was really like, this all just makes sense. Everything was making sense in the moment. And hindsight is 2020. Everything did make sense in the moment. And then eventually along those lines, like, things started to happen that really just made me reconsider like who I am as a person, like my own sense of identity. So all of this to say that I became a nurse, and then I hated it. Oh my God, I hated it. So I graduated college. I took my board exams, passed my exams. Then I'm looking for a job. So before I took my exam, I was already like trying to like network with different hospitals that I wanted to work with. So I had a contact at, and they were like, yeah, like, let me know when you pass your boards, and then da 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 da. So I let them know I passed my boards. I had already applied for a couple jobs previously, and they were like, oh, the job that I like, I really wanted to work at this hospital, right? And there was jobs that I was just like applying to because like, oh, that would be interesting. And there was jobs that I really wanted, right? So literally the lowest one on the list, obviously the most short staffed for a reason. Right. The operating room. That's where I interviewed for. I was like, whatever, like I could do that for a year and then transfer out into a different unit. Da da da. Cool. I started working in the operating room. I think the whole institution, and this is the other part about it, like when you go through school, you have a different understanding of what the healthcare industry is. I think working in the healthcare industry is a completely different ballgame. And I just don't agree with a lot of things. It's neither here nor there, but it's not what I thought it was going to be. And that too kind of like lowered the morale for me across the board. But then you start working in an institution, and I think this is also just like a me thing. I don't work well in rigid spaces. I don't like feeling suffocated. I don't like feeling boxed in, which y'all will learn. I don't like feeling boxed in. That's just not a thing that's for me personally. And I have come to terms with this, right? And that was kind of the situation where it was working in the hospital. And trust me, like I get it. Like working in the hospital, there's so many things that you have to be accountable for. Like people come and they literally place their lives in other people's hands. So completely understand why it is the way that it is. But it's just not for me. So I was like, I need to get the fuck. Like it just did not suit me. It didn't suit my life, the lifestyle that I thought I wanted to live. It was not, the reality of it was just completely different from what I thought it was going to be. So that began and one thing about it is like, if I realize that, okay, like I need to do something, I'm very like action oriented. So it's like it could be a matter of days between when I say that I want to change something to when it's changed. I don't because I'm like, listen, time is going. But at the same time though, like I'm not gonna lie, I was dating someone who she was working remotely. So it's like the lifestyle was just so attractive to me. I was like, damn, like I just want to sit at home with you. So eventually, after searching up and down and in between, I found a job as a nurse that was remote, and I didn't. If anything, I took a pay increase. So again, everything happens for you. Like you are exactly where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. Like, and I have seen too much to not believe that. So found the job. It was decent. It was remote. As long as you got your work done, nobody really bothered you. So it's like this is like my type of environment. And at this point, at the same time, well, during the pandemic, I started picking up the camera for real. But at this point, I really started like being intentional about honing in on my craft, developing a skill. So my camera was how I kind of let off that like I was like, okay, I could work this job and have my hobby, right? And the camera just became like such I don't know. Like I really don't know how to describe it, but like I think I've always been in some way attracted to the camera, right? But when I really allowed myself the space to explore that, I think I just fell in love with the idea of being able to capture moments. And I think it's honestly just a beautiful experience, and I could go on about this for days. Through that, I think the more I started to develop my craft, the more I started to kind of find my own style, learn more about photography, the skills behind it. The more I was like, damn, like I really love this shit. Like I wake up in the middle of the night and think about how I'm going to because when I feel like you just know I feel like for so I knew like I know like I'm I don't know, you just know. I'm gonna just say that if you know, you know. But I was like, yo, like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And behind photography is creative direction. And so I took a course, actually. I took a course in um, digital marketing. Part of that course was exploring the roles of an art director. It was just such a eye-opening experience because I think for the first time I was like, yo, like, wow, like, I really fuck with this. Like, this is the type of stuff I already do. And it's like I do it for free, for fun. Like, hello, you have a gem right here and you're not even like using it for real. So it's like once I had that realization, everything else became so mute, bro. Like even my job, I was like, yo. When I first started, I gave myself 2 years to figure it the fuck out, right? And gratefully, 2 years, I figured it out. Low key, I did that. Am I still there? Wouldn't you like to know? I figured it out. So I'm actually really proud of myself about that. Good job. I'm like here. And again, action oriented. I'm really trying to put actions behind the words, behind the ideas, behind the thoughts. Like it's one thing to have the dream and it's another thing to make it happen. Like And I think there's a lot of other things that go into that, obviously, but I'm steadfast in the fact that this is what I want right now, you know. So it's like I think I would be doing myself such a disservice by not going for it. And like this is why I'm like right here right now. This is why we're here right now, because it's like I'm chasing after a life that I love living. And I think part of that is doing some things that I think I've always been scared of doing. I think, you know, my whole thing is do it scared, right? Do it scared, do it different. And I think that's that right there, I think is why I've been brought to this world. Like if you ask anybody who really knows me, it's like I'm never one that has been of the norm. Like it just it bothers me because it's like that's why everybody's fucking sad, because niggas don't want to be weird anymore and like put themselves out there. It's like, hey, fuck it, do it scared, do it weird, do it different.